Hey guys, and welcome back to Hooked on Learning Study Skills. Really great to have you here with us today. This is lesson 1 on the section of handling test anxiety. It is very normal to experience some levels of stress and anxiety leading up to and in tests and exams. But if your levels of stress are so high that they start to negatively impact on you and on your results, then obviously something needs to be done about it. The reason for this is that stress actually impacts the brain's learning ability in a negative way. Because the part of the brain that is responsible for learning, retaining, and recalling information is the same part of the brain that is responsible for emotional responses. We call that part of the brain the limbic system. So what happens is that when the limbic system picks up high levels of stress and anxiety, it has to make a decision. It needs to decide what is more important, for me to remember the year World War I started, or is it more important for me to calm this being down? Your brain is always going to choose physical well-being over cognitive functioning. In other words, what it's going to do, it's going to shut down the cognitive part of the limbic system, and it is going to solely concentrate on calming you down, because that is what is important to the brain. This is the exact reason why you hit blanks in tests and exams. It is also the reason why sometimes you're sitting in a study session and you're learning and no information is going in. It's because you have these high levels of stress, so the brain shuts down your learning side so that it can concentrate on making sure that it tries to calm you down. So what is important now is for you to know, are you stressed, and how do you know if you are stressed? Stress and anxiety come out in 4 different categories, and that is physical symptoms, which could be headaches and nausea. It can also be displayed in emotional symptoms, that can be outbursts, aggression, and so on. You can also show behavioral symptoms, and that's obviously being snippy, chatting back, especially if that's not really part of your personality. And as we've discussed, it also can be displayed in cognitive symptoms. So take a look at those symptoms and decide if you are showing any of those symptoms of high levels of stress. So now we come to the important question: how can we combat test anxiety? First one is watch your self-talk. So listen up, because this is important. Your brain is you. It is not a separate entity. So your brain believes what you tell it. If you're going to be going, I am so stupid, I never get anything right, I am pathetic, that is what your brain is going to believe, because that is what you are telling your brain. Your self-talk is so vitally important to your emotional well-being, and a lot of people do not realize that. Therefore, it is so important for you to make sure that if you have any negative self-talk coming in, that you immediately change it to something positive. So for example, say you mess up completely. We all do. Instead of going, I'm such a loser, you then take that negative self-talk, you visualize yourself scrunching it up, do whatever you need to do, but you remove that negative self-talk and you replace it with something like, everybody messes up, I'll know better next time. The more positive self-talk that goes in, the calmer your brain becomes and the more open you will be to studying. The next thing is you need to challenge your anxious thinking. Negative self-talk leads to a feeling of stress. Positive self-talk leads to a feeling of calm. So take a look at the boxes on the bottom of page 3. See the example how it's done, and then fill your own in, where you challenge a negative thought, turning it into something more positive. Then you need to identify the root cause. We can only deal with something if we identify where it comes from. If you fill that form in, it helps you to identify where your stress and anxiety is coming from, and it helps you to deal with it through leading questions. So if you find that you are anxious, refer to that form and fill it in. It's not a once-off thing, it's for whenever you are feeling stressed or anxious, and it just helps you to sort out your feelings and make you feel more positive about the situation that you're in. You can also combat test anxiety with a bubble bath. I know it sounds weird, but bubble baths are magic tools, and even for boys. When you climb into a bubble bath, it's got something to do with the warmth, it's got something to do with the scent of the bubbles that helps to calm and relax your body. The key to having a stress release bubble bath is making sure that you do not take your negative thinking and stress with you into the bubble bath. So you have to make sure that if you're thinking about anything, think about the fun you're going to have over the weekend. Think about the fun you had the previous weekend. If you love reading, take a good book in with you. Take your favorite music in with you. But if you create a really positive environment, a 20-minute bubble bath can help you to release all the stress and anxiety that you have been feeling that day. The next thing is focal breathing. And I promise you, this isn't only for esoteric people and hippies. What focal breathing does is it regulates your breathing, making you feel more calm. Breathing is a very well-known tool for calming the body down. Also, that added bonus to focal breathing is that you send all this oxygen to the brain. The more oxygen that goes to the brain, the more refreshed and revived your brain feels. The next thing to do is, if you're feeling very stressed, to take a time out. If you're sitting in a study session and you're learning and you're learning and you're learning and you're finding nothing is going in, it is no use just sitting there trying to get information into your brain. Rather, cut your study session short and go for a 5-minute timeout. Do something relaxing. Play with your pets. Play a little bit on the PlayStation, read a book, do art, whatever helps you to relax and center yourself. And once you're feeling a little bit more relaxed and calm, then return to your study session and carry on studying. Do a body check. Now, what happens is when we're stressed, we actually hold the stress in our muscles. So doing a body check is about closing your eyes and thinking about all the different muscles in your body. Normally what we do is we start at the feet. We think, are my feet feeling stressed and tense? If they are, then you release the muscles and you picture your muscles feeling more relaxed. By doing a body check, it just helps you to be unfocused from the negative, focus on your body and help to relax your body and regain some central core within your body. The last thing that I'm going to be taking a look at to combat test anxiety is exercise. Where through your tests and exams, don't give up exercise. Exercise is a brilliant stress release. Not only does exercise send oxygen to the brain, which helps your brain to be more focused, it also releases those feel-good hormones, endorphins, and endorphins combat stress. So the more you exercise and the more you engage in physical activity, the less stress your body feels because you have got these endorphins in your body. So make sure that you have some form of exercise going on through your test and exams.
That's it for this lesson. I will see you in the next one.